Alright, so be aware that this video kind of treads along the waters of the types of videos that I hate, which are usually the types of videos where some overly critical douchebag tries to tell you exactly how to feel. Or even worse, tries to tell you how you already feel. So please know that this video comes from a place of speculation, it comes from my own experience, and it's not me telling you this is how you feel, this is why you do or do not like things. I have no authority over that, but at the same time, a lot of people don't really know how to process their emotions, their feelings, and their preferences, and even when you know how to do that, I don't think any of us are actually good at it. So with that out of the way, I wanted to talk about people's video game preferences and why I think some people have them wrong. And this goes back to a story I told in a recent video about the Battlefield fanbase, where I talked about my dislike of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 back during 2013. In 2013, I became infuriated with Call of Duty Black Ops 2 in particular, and even when I went to go play games like Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 1, MW2, or COD 4, I found myself becoming increasingly frustrated with every game I played. I had had it with Call of Duty, and something really bad happened in my mind, and that was that I took how I was feeling then and created from that a fact about what was going on. I took being bored, fed up, frustrated, and feeling a sense of repetitiveness in my gaming, I took all of that and directed it towards the franchise that was giving me that feeling. And this is something that Matimio said about the original Black Ops back in 2010. He said that Black Ops has so many players and so many people playing it, like all the time, just in general, that people will become sick of it at no fault of the game, but just because they put so much time into it, there's an eventual breaking point. Now, I'm paraphrasing the shit out of it, but I do remember that he said it in one of his very, very old videos. Basically, people will play it to the point that it's not fun anymore and then blame the game, and that's what I was doing. Now, you might think this is another pro-COD video from Boom. COD is just an interesting focal point to me. It's an interesting topic, it's an interesting thing to talk about, and even in the context of me disliking a lot of games in the COD franchise, I still get labeled a fanboy. Just know that COD is an example here. I'm not saying you're wrong if you don't like Call of Duty anymore. In fact, you might be fucking onto something. But fast forward to recently, and not super recently, I would probably say before Infinite Warfare's launch, this happened with Battlefield, and it's kind of still going on with me in Battlefield, even though I'm slowly coming around to wanting to play it again. Because Black Ops 3, in my opinion, was a colossal, themeless, skillless clusterfuck towards the end of its life cycle that I didn't enjoy and the DLCs did not help, Black Ops 3 had me at the end of my rope. I got tired of it, I got tired of getting rippered and gravity spiked, I was done with it, and I wasn't about to go back to Advanced Warfare, so I went to my good old standbys, Battlefield 4, and then Battlefield Hardline went on sale for $10, so I got that, and then they made all of Hardline's DLCs free, so I played a lot of Hardline. So I played the absolute crap out of Battlefield. Battlefield, my god, I beat the hell out of Battlefield, and it made me more and more excited to play Battlefield 1, but also at the same time, it made me really hesitant because I saw how different Battlefield 1 was after playing the alpha. But either way, long story short, I played Battlefield into oblivion. I played it into a point where I was no longer enjoying it, and that was 100% on me and not on Battlefield. I played it to the point that the issues I was aware of became actual problems that made it impossible to play the game. A lack of optimization in Battlefield 4, an overpowered weapon in Battlefield Hardline, a vehicle I don't like facing, a type of player that gets annoying when they're on your team, losing games, losing gunfights, weird frame drops in Battlefield 4. I played it to the point that I was miserable playing it, and since then, every match of Battlefield I've played, I play it with a sort of ambivalence. I play it with a weird class, I play it with a weird gun, and I was eventually called out by Marble Duck when he was watching my Battlefield 1 Sucks video, in which I was labeled as a basically stupid casual that didn't know what he wanted, another reason I don't want this video to come off like that. But the gameplay he was showing was me doing absolutely terrible in Battlefield 4. Now, I actually ended up doing well at the end of the game he showed, but yeah, I had shitty classes, I was doing shitty things, my aim was bad because I was using a gun I hate. But recently, I have had to learn to understand my limits with games, and understand that it doesn't reflect anything on the game. Now, we all know that video games are not perfect. In fact, I made a video that went as far as to say video games suck. In that video, I basically said, even if your favorite video game is a masterpiece and it will go down in history as one of the best games ever, it still had its flaws, it still had its issues. We're still dealing with interactive, complex software, and everyone's gonna have different experiences with it. And honestly, that's what a video game is. Yes, it's a line of ones and zeros. If you want to break it down even more, it's atoms on a disc. But when you're playing it, it doesn't matter if the game itself is mathematical software. It's ones and zeros. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. You are playing something that could best be referred to as a personal experience. Even someone going through a very linear game will have their own set of experiences that is different than someone else, or have the same experience and then perceive it in a different way because of their past experiences and who they are as people. This is the problem with video game criticism. Yet another video that I did where I basically said you can break things down, you can be objectively right, but there will still be somebody that looks at it and says, I don't like that, or I do like that anyway. Even games that are critically acclaimed like Shadow of the Colossus, you can go through the comment section on a trailer or on a live stream or on a live gameplay thing, like Game Grumps playing it. You can go through a gameplay of Shadow of the Colossus and somebody will be like, this game is completely overrated and garbage. I couldn't beat it because it was just annoying. I don't know, some stupid shit to that effect. And the reason that happens is because even if the game is really good and loved by a lot of people, that doesn't mean everybody's gonna love it. I'm telling you things you already know, but it's to further my point. Sometimes we take our experiences too seriously, sometimes we take our perceptions too seriously, and we turn our backs on games that we love, or we idolize the games that came before them. And what I found while being on YouTube and being part of the gaming community is nobody can really put their finger on why they like Modern Warfare 2 better than all other Call of Duties, why Halo 3 is still the best Halo ever made, or even why Battlefront 2, the original, is the pinnacle of Star Wars games. These are factually baseless statements that are coming from people's experiences and their preferences, and I think some people let their preferences run away with them. If you think this video has gone off track, you're wrong, it's coming right back. Keeping all of what I just said in mind, when I got tired of Black Ops 2, I pinned it on Call of Duty. I was disgusted with it as a franchise. I was tired of it. I took a break for about 5 to 7 months, somewhere in there. It's a little bit hazy on the time frame. It was enough for me to join the Birdie Club in Battlefield 3, so that's a thing. And the same thing happened during Black Ops 3, where I went to Battlefield. I went to go play Battlefield for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Whether it was 4 or Hardline, I played it for hours. Until I get to the point where I don't like Battlefield, and the issues in Battlefield scream louder than its positive traits. Its cons scream louder than its pros, and that happens to any game you play too much. You can kind of become conceited with a game though, and then you just kind of laugh off all of the flaws, and you kind of identify as a player of that game. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. Live your life, play your games, I don't care. But those kind of people usually make for a lousy conversation when talking about video game opinions, because they've already picked a game that they treat as their lord and savior. I'm thinking like Rainbow Six Siege players, Counter-Strike Go players, Dota players, and even fucking Call of Duty players. And I'm going to toot my own horn and say maybe the reason that I'm an interesting voice, or at least I have a purpose here on YouTube, is that I go through these phases where I don't want to touch Battlefield, even though in my mind I believe that Battlefield is an objectively better product than Call of Duty, but then sometimes I will crave Call of Duty's gameplay, I'll crave Halo's gameplay or Doom's gameplay, I want Titanfall, I want this, I want that, and I want those pieces to all come together to form my FPS experience. And that's why I ask myself with a lot of games, what does this add to my first-person shooter experience? Even games that I'm not really a huge fan of, like Rainbow Six Siege, I don't have fun in it, I will eventually, guaranteed, get a hankering to play it, and play it I will. Even games I'm bored with, like Overwatch, I will, guaranteed in a couple months, want to play it again. And what's nice about me, and yes, I'm tooting my horn just a little bit longer, bear with me, is that sometimes when I come back after being bored, tired, or frustrated with the video game or the video game franchise, I come back on it with a new perspective, because I don't let how I'm feeling kind of control the entire situation. I'm not in the mood for Destiny. That doesn't mean Destiny 2 is bad. I'm not in the mood for Battlefield. That doesn't mean Battlefield's terrible. I wasn't in the mood for Call of Duty. It's not because the franchise got worse, it's because I got tired of it. And to end this video, that's basically what I keep seeing everywhere. I got tired of it, therefore it's bad. I'm bored, that's because the game's bad. Yo, if you've played Call of Duty since 2007, you are entitled to be bored and tired of it. The changes are probably even more frustrating. If you did like a 3-month binge on only Battlefield games, yeah, you're entitled to be bored of it for a while after that. Just don't think that objectively the thing you are in the mood to play, the thing you are in the mood to experience, is better than the thing you're a bit tired of. Own your preferences, own how you feel, own the games you like, that's fine, don't let anybody take that out from under you. But don't hold your preferences to such a high standard that because you don't like something, it has no value. I don't have fun in Counter-Strike Go or Rainbow Six Siege, and about a year ago, I would love to rant about why those games are bad. But really what I'd be telling you is the reasons I don't enjoy them. I think right now in the current social climate on this fucking planet, I think it's better to not focus on the differences and the cons, instead appreciate the differences and focus on the pros in a way that's constructive. Being cautiously optimistic instead of looking to hate the next thing, or blindly choosing to love something because it's not that other thing. The internet seems to grab onto things and kick things to the curb based on nothing. Literally just based off of the collective screaming of this fucking weird ass community. And by community I mean like online people. So try not to get swept up in that, try not to get swept up in your personal preferences. Just because you're not into it anymore doesn't mean it was bad or is bad or that it used to be better. No, I'm not talking about COD, although yes, that fits perfectly there. I'm talking about things in general. I kind of got tired of watching Doctor Who. Doesn't make it a bad show to sit and watch. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of What the Fuck Is This Faggot Talking About? And I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, anyway, so I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye. Don't get mad at me. 12-minute video. I hope you found it interesting. Share it, like it, get it to 1,000 views so I can appeal to demonetization. That's inevitable. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.